Hello, it's Dawn Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we'd just sit down and do a little bit of tarot and journaling. I mentioned in a recent video where I talked about my secret tarot journals, where I have a few books, novels, poetry books that I basically treat like a tarot journal when the blank page becomes too much for me to handle. I'll leave a link for that video below in case you want to check it out. But today I thought we would just actually do one in practice because it didn't really show the process so much in that video as just talk about why I do it and how it's evolved for me. So today I was going to sit down and do a little bit of journaling with the flowers on the moon and the Hide Tarot. So this is going to be an interesting combo because there's a definite sort of vibe and energy to the poetry in the flowers on the moon. And the Hide Tarot is kind of a unique little thing, and it definitely does its own thing. I recently got this deck after talking with Tegan in one of our recent or fairly recent Tarot Beyond Tradition, and she mentioned this is one of her most unique untraditional tarot decks. And it is that for several different reasons. There is a title as well as the Tarot Association on each card. But the thing that's really interesting about this deck is the stuff that's on the card doesn't necessarily at first glance really relate to what the traditional meanings of the card are. And I absolutely love that about this deck. So today I thought we would just go through this process together. I'm going to do, of course, a real reading because that's just how I like to do these things. And I don't really have a set sort of question or intention other than to take some time to connect with whatever words I find in here and whatever images I find in here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just kind of open this up. And sometimes I just open it up and go with the page that's right before me. And sometimes I look to see what I want to focus in on. And I'll look through the book and find something that feels like in the moment. But most of the time it just kind of hits where it needs to the minute I open it. I'm really loving this. To whom this may concern, don't take my distance personally. I just want us both to bloom within our own spaces without imposing on each other's growth. Our energies will meet again soon. There's something really beautiful about that because for me that feels a little bit like practice, like tarot in its own sense, because a lot of times we need that space. Actually, we need to take a step back in order to make room for things to grow. I'm going to approach it as if it were talking about my tarot practice, because I've definitely been feeling like there needs to be a little bit of space, not so much in my personal practice, but maybe in the mass amount of stuff that I'm creating at the moment. I feel like there's too much of it, not enough of me to go around. I feel like this maybe kind of wraps that up or sums that up really well of like sometimes you need to create that space in order for that growth to happen. So that's what we're going to focus on. So that's what I'm feeling. I'm not at all prepared for this. I just basically turned on the camera and away we're going. So you'll have to forgive that. Can we set that there? How about a nice little candle? I'll put a nice little candle right there. Okay, so we've got this idea with this poem about creating distance and where growth happens in the quiet spaces in between, when you stop, when you take a moment, when you take a breath, when you take a step back. And I feel like that is 100% where I'm at right now. I've been having to sort of take a step back on some things. I've been having to reprioritize some things. Like, I'm not a gardener, but I feel like there's a thing, like if you plant things too close to each other, like they don't have enough space to grow, right? They become too clustered. They like encroach on each other's territory. Again, not a gardener. I don't know why I insist on making gardener references because I know nothing about it, but there it is. I just feel like that's kind of how like my projects and my practices are feeling. They are a little too close together and there's not enough space between them for things to grow, for things to bloom. They need a little bit of breathing room. And I feel like that is what this is going to be talking about. So I'm going to give the Hide Tarot a shuffle. Now I haven't pulled any other decks out to use with this one. I've just got the tarot, no oracle or anything. That's not to say that I won't pull something in, but this deck kind of functions as a tarot and an oracle in one. So I haven't been feeling like I need it. I feel like it is just kind of like all-encompassing tarot oracle all in one deck. I do have some dice out here. I don't know if we will get into dice casting or not. Again, these are very intuitive processes, so I kind of just go with whatever I feel at the moment. Okay, so I'm kind of feeling like there's maybe this idea of, I know I need to take some space. Maybe I don't entirely know how I need to take some space. So let's just start with that, and we're going to just build as we go. So let's get some clarity around that. We've got the rabbit with the Page of Swords. Okay, things are moving far too quickly, because I feel like with the rabbit, again, I'm totally going off intuitive as well as the tarot reference. So Page of Swords with the rabbit. I feel like everything's moving too quickly. There's not enough time, there's not enough space, and I keep moving forward. Always moving forward. It feels a bit like a rabbit, like trying to like escape prey, right? It's running around, it's crazy, it's page energy, it's sword energy, so it's very mental. There's all kinds of ideas and projects and everything, and they're just kind of like darting wildly through the bushes, trying to find the safest path forward, and it's just all moving too fast. So that's kind of the energy that I'm feeling. So now let's kind of take a look at, what do I want to know? That's always the question, right? What do I want to know? Like, how can I make some space for that without feeling like I'm neglecting things, right? That's always the key. And I'm throwing a lot at just one card, but so let's just start with, like, how can I make some space for that? Let's start with that. So how can I make some space for that? We have the painting with the Nine of Swords. Okay, that is interesting. So maybe what this is telling me to make space for it is the idea of not creating out of that sense of fear, this rabbit fear, this I have so many things and like it's going to disappear, or like if I don't do it now, it'll never happen type of energy. That's kind of pulling in that Nine of Swords for me, that idea of like, it's so much, it's so overwhelming. But then we've got the painting here, and this is kind of tapping into that idea of like getting down to the heart of the thing that really wants to be done, that really needs to be done. Because if you think of a single painting, how long that can take, you're focusing on one thing, you're focusing on one aspect, one art piece. And through that focus, maybe I can get out of this idea of all the things if I just have a little bit of time to focus on the things that are really important. So that's kind of how I'm taking that. Again, still looking at this idea of space and creating some time and some energy, honestly, in my life. So I've got kind of like where I'm at, what I need to do. But let's just kind of take a look at maybe like, what does the tarot want me to know about it? Like, I'm not going to ask the question. I'm not going to provide the context. Like, you just tell me. You tell me. What do I need to know? And yeah, this is me personifying my decks and having conversations with my cards. Danny just did a really wonderful video. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to leave it linked below, on basically having a conversation with your tarot deck. That is primarily how I read a lot of the time. We just sit down and we have kind of a conversation together. So I definitely want you to encourage you to check that out. So in a way, this video is a little bit of a VR to that, because it was definitely inspired by that idea of, I just need to sit down and have a conversation with my cards. So that's what we're doing today. All right, so let's see what the cards want me to know. What the universe, the all, the source, the whatever, the inner voice within me, what does it want to share with me? And we got the Iris with the King of Cups. Okay, see, such an interesting imagery for the King of Cups. Now, again, I don't know anything about plants. I really should learn one of these days. Probably never going to happen, but this definitely makes me think of blooming. It makes me think of something fragile, something delicate, but we also have the King of Cups, and the whole idea of holding that, like holding the sacredness, the delicacy of the work, and letting it be the thing that creates the framework, sitting in that king energy for connecting to the heart space, for getting outside of this crazy rabbit Nine of Swords energy I got going on, and maybe just getting quiet, getting calm, getting back to more of what sustains the heart than whatever, feeds the machine, as it were. Okay, so I've got this idea of, you know, here's what I need to do. Here's why I need to do it, kind of. And so let's pull a final card for just how am I going to work with this, like, moving forward? What is the best way for me to do that? And let's see what we get. And we got the Wolf with the Knight of Cups. Okay, so very interesting that I have 2 swords and 2 cups. So I'm feeling like it's saying that part of this issue up here with this energy is that it's too much in my head and not enough in my heart. And I love this Wolf with the Knight of Cups because this is giving me the idea of like going back to that wildness, going back to that innate thing, going back to what really does feed your soul, not what you think you should be creating, but what actually stirs something within me. So if I'm looking at this little message here of not taking the space personally, right? Now I'm going to relate it back to the reading. I'm not going to take that space that I create for myself as a personal attack against my own productivity, against my own ability. I'm going to take it because this is too much and I'm edging towards burnout and overwhelm. And if I don't step back from it and step back into the heart of things where that true nature exists, I am going to end up right back where I don't want to be. And so I need to create that space for growth to happen for myself, not only for the work that I do, but probably for my own sense of self and my own well-being and my own family and things of that nature. And so I'm really getting this idea and this thought of stepping outside of the chaos and really focusing on the thing that fuels the heart. Okay, so having said that, I'm going to throw these really quickly on my scanner. I'm going to shrink them down 50% and I'm going to cut them out and we are going to journal a little bit in the book. All right, I got our little cards cut out and I corner rounded them so they look like little mini tarot cards. Apparently I need to fix my color settings because they came out kind of green, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. We are not going with or for perfection here. So now I'm just going to kind of spend some time thinking a little bit about how I want to play this on the page. And I kind of want to mimic what I did in the actual spread. So I can see that this is how I laid it. But I also want to do a little bit of journaling actually around this. So I think what I'm going to do is actually cover up this page over here and allow myself to journal over here about it. Now that means I am going to lose this poem, but you know, that apparently just is what it is, and that poem just apparently wasn't for me. So I'm okay with that. I'm going to kind of leave this set for now because I might want to do some things around it. And I'm feeling like I want to do a little bit of stamping and maybe some stickers and stuff. So I'm going to set these aside for right now because I don't need them right this moment. I'm going to focus on covering this page. So just to think about what I want to cover it with. And the big question is, do I want to be able to write over this section, or do I want to cover it up and not have it be actual usable space for writing? I think that I want to do a little bit of like paper layering. But I think I want to make it accessible to write on as well. So I'm going to use a couple of different Post-it notes. I love my Post-it notes for this. It's a great way to get just little scraps, little snippets of different kinds of paper. So we're going to put one here to start with. And I think I want one here. And kind of the idea that I think I'm going for, because I'm feeling a little bit like this whole idea of like work and to-do lists, right? So I kind of want to mirror that here and make it look a little bit like there were so many things to do. Maybe I want to tear this one because this one is like the list torn off and thrown away. That's kind of the idea I'm going for. I think I like that, but my designer brain is like, it's not quite straight on the page, so we're gonna fix that really quickly. And yeah, then I'm going to glue these down. So I like this idea of like feeling like this is kind of like an endless task list. We're just going to borrow the candle for a second there. And like all of these things just need to be done all the time. Like it's just, it's never ending. It's so much, it's whatever. And I like that idea of that energy being reflected here through the little art piece that I'm doing. Because that is really what this is, right? At this point, it is journaling, but it is also making art. So I'm just gonna glue all this down. This idea of this just endless task list. All the things that I think I need to do, right? All the things that I just have to be done. I definitely want to do some stamping because I feel like that's an energy I want to bring into this. I am going to move these cards just out of the way over here because I do not want to get stamp or ink or glue or anything on my actual tarot cards. But I do think I have some, yeah, like these. Some stamps that are like meant for like organizing and all of that. And I think what I'm going to do is use those as a way to like represent that constant list of to-dos. So like here is like a checklist. I feel like that's good. Now I said I was going to leave this open to write on and I'm going to stamp over the top of it. So it maybe won't have room to write on it. We'll see. This isn't exactly a exact science. It's very intuitive in the moment. And I really put that in the wrong spot. So we're going to go right here with it. This like the never-ending checklist here. The lines is terrible. That's okay. I'm not gonna worry about it. As I've said before in many other videos, me going, that's okay, I'm not gonna worry about it, is me really just reaffirming to myself that it doesn't have to be perfect. And that's quite all right. All right, I'm gonna put this little boxy thing, I don't really know what it is, but we're gonna put it on this other one. And then maybe what I want to do is layer it with some like flower stickers, like something like beautiful. Like, oh, that's really like bold and I like that. It's really bold and out there. Like you can't ignore that, right? That's stuff that needs to be done and you can't ignore it, which is absolutely how I'm feeling. But also I want to add in some of my favorite little like specimen style stamps, because yeah, there's one here that says toxic and I really want that one on there because that is the mood for sure. I do want to make sure that I remember to leave room, or that I make sure that I leave room for actual journaling, because I do want to do some journaling around this. But we're going to just stamp some energy onto this page too. Okay, I'm going to hold there with the stamps because I don't want to go overboard before I really know what it is I'm going to be doing. Okay, I do have lots of little floral botanical deck thingies, stickers. Here, let's check out this new book I got. It's called Blooms and Butterflies, which is totally my vibe these days. Blooms and butterflies. These are kind of green. I'm wondering if maybe I just like, did the universe do that on purpose? Because I need to like incorporate some of this green color. I'm thinking it did. I'm going to take it as a sign. That's what I'm going to do. Is there some green in here? There's green and yellow, but that kind of clashes with what I got going on. These are cute little stickers. I should have them more on frame so you can see what I'm looking through. I'm hoping for something like this, but green and black and white would be great. I don't know if I'll find that. There's kind of green and black and white, but okay. Really, I'm just looking for something to like jump out at me and go, I'm the sticker you need. Because that's generally how it works. Actually, this blue color kind of matches. Does it matter? No, but I'm gonna make it a thing. Oh, these are beautiful. Look at that. That's a perfect match. Okay, definitely want that butterfly. Question being, is there any like florals that I want? I'm kind of liking this one with the butterfly. Or this one. I like the simplicity of this. So let's go with this one to start with. I am going to put one of those butterflies on there, but I'm going to cover up probably most of this black because I can't, well, I can write on it, but it's not going to be, yeah, I have to get a gel pen. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Okay, so I like that, and I definitely want some washi because like floral stickers without washi over it just feel wrong and naked to me. So I got this little set that I got off Amazon recently. We'll just use it because it's here and it's handy. I love the one with the words. Yes, right there. Okay, I like that. I might want my butterfly washi too, but for right now I think I want to maybe get these on the page. Maybe I want to mimic some of like in reverse. Do I don't know that I do. I might. Maybe if I put one there and where was the wolf was here. Yes, I think I like that, but I would really like to have some like botanicals behind it for that sort of the idea of the growth, right? So I'm gonna do that first before I commit any of these to paper. I mean, I probably could do the top because I'm probably not gonna stamp on it, but I just gonna wait. Have a little patience. A little patience is a virtue. Patience is definitely something I struggle with. I am going to grab my plant stamps. I'm just gonna mix probably some of these with some of these, and I'm gonna make like a little garden here at the bottom, and we're gonna hope that that's gonna look okay because once I stamp it, like it's done. Can't change it. So we're just gonna hope for the best. This one is about lost all of its sticky because it is by far my most used floral plant. But I just want to have this whole idea of this like almost overwhelming garden. So I'm probably going to stamp like a lot. Like I'm even going to put some over here. I'm going to have to move this because I got to get it closer into the edge and end up with stamp all over my hand. Like I want that idea of just, it's just too much. And maybe the too much will fade down into space. I think that sounds good. Sounds like a deal to me. All right. I never put my stamps on properly or straight or anything. It has little grids on it. You think I use them? Nope, I don't. Okay, like that one there. And again, I really should have gone more toward the edge here, but I really just kind of want that idea of like a little bit of chaos here. A little bit of chaos, a little bit of too much growth, overwhelming, feeling like a lot. Which is kind of funny because it's going to be at the end, right? I keep doing this. It's going to be beneath the final card, which was like, hey, get back to like what it is you really love doing, rather than being up top where it was actually talking about the kind of growth and the busyness, the muchness of it all. Oh, it makes me think of Alice in Wonderland. I mean, we do need muchness. Absolutely, we need muchness. But even muchness can be too muchness, right? This is why my hands are always looking like they do. Okay, let's see how this went. Because now that I did that, though, I'm feeling like it needs to be like down here. And maybe here. I mean, I am going to end up covering up half of these, or a big chunk of them. And I'm just going to take this down a little bit more. Maybe I like that better, that it doesn't have quite the rough edge. So really a lot of journaling for me is just moving things around on a page going, do I like that? don't know if I like that. Yeah, I've covered up a ton of my flowers, but I feel like that's okay. These are sitting very low in here, but I think I like it. So I do have some other stuff I can put on the page here. I really need an excess piece of paper. Hold on. I say hold on, and then I'll just edit that part out. I did that in a member video the other day. I was like, oh wait, hold please. I gotta go do this thing, and I'll be right back. And then, but I edit it so you never actually see me go anywhere, which is kind of funny. Okay, I don't know where I had this before, so we're just gonna kind of guess. Right about there looks good. I feel like I probably should have put it further up, but I'm not gonna worry about it. And I'm feeling like that one right about there. And then let's go with this one. Important to remember not to lay your card image down in your glue stick excess there. This is really close to the bottom, but that's okay. Yes, that is feeling good. And I think I'm going to sort of mirror this over here up top. Let's go this way and end up with all kinds of glue on top of my ink. I didn't really like measure that or anything. We're just gonna guess that that's like where it needs to be because it didn't really look. So we're just hoping for the best. Okay. So if I put that one there and that one, ooh, there. Yes, I like that. Okay. I get really excited when I find like the right spot for something. Just so silly, but it's exciting. I think was right about there. Sure, looks good. Try it. And right there. Perfect. Okay. Now I feel like I can do a little bit of journaling around this and then maybe finish it up. Really would like to get a butterfly sticker on here just because butterfly is kind of like my symbol, so I would like to incorporate one. And I might be able to fit one right there, but I'm gonna go ahead and do my journaling first. Okay, so just to share with you what I wrote, it says the work has been feeling a little bit overwhelming lately, and I feel like I'm always racing to keep up, even as I continue to add more to my to-do list. It's time to take a step back to create some space and grow from the heart instead of the hustle. So that's just a little, will give me a little bit of indication of what I was thinking and how I relate this poem to these cards and what they mean to me and how I'm reflecting upon them. So I do feel like that really captures the whole essence of the reading. I would like to add that butterfly because butterfly is just such a significant thing for me these days. I really want to make sure. Oh, that's 2 butterflies. Do we want 2 butterflies? Oh my goodness, 2 butterflies might be too much. Okay, I didn't realize they were connected. So let's put those back. We will use those a different day and see if there was another in that same color palette because yes, my world is very aesthetic and I am okay with that. I do not want to cover up my, where do I want to go with it? I'm thinking actually I might want to just kind of take it off the page here, because I feel like this is, the butterfly is symbolizing kind of like letting this go, let it float away. Focus on what matters. Come what may. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. I need scissors. I would prefer little ones, but I can't find them, so we're gonna go with this. Okay, I'm just gonna trim off if it wants to come here. It's like, no, don't clip my wings. I'm so sorry, little butterfly, but I'm gonna clip your wings. And I will save that because that's not trash. Me and saving all my little scraps of things. It's not trash. I'll use it again. Okay, I'm going to turn this away. And I try really hard not to cut the page, but like sometimes it happens and like it's no biggie if it does. Okay, I put those little bits of wing back because they might be useful elsewhere. Oh, I am loving the feel of this. This feels definitely like it is resonating with that energy. I think I'm just gonna leave this. I do want to date it because I think that, I don't know that I've necessarily dated some of these other ones. And I kind of wish I had, because then I really could use them as a bit more reflective if I know like when I did it, right? Because I totally just cut the page. Because then I can relate it back to other things that I had going on in my life, or look at other videos I've made around it, or posts or whatever, and that will also help cue me into what was going on. So we are going to date that. So there we have, let me turn it around the right way so you can see it. That's my reading for today in my Flowers on the Moon, so one of my secret tarot journals, and working with the Hide Tarot, which is definitely a new deck in my collection, but one that I am really enjoying getting to know. Like, it does something so different. It really just opens up my intuition in a really fascinating way. I do love that it has the tarot titles as well, because it does remind me that this is a tarot, not an oracle, although there are lots of tarots that I use like an oracle. This one feels like it works simultaneously as both in just this really unique and beautiful way. A lot of the tarots that have keywords on them or titles or additional things, I tend to feel like I need to like work with them as an oracle. Like, they don't work as a tarot then once you add that additional association or that additional layer over the top of it. But for whatever reason, this deck, I don't know, this deck just works. It works knowing that this is the Sun and also the Horse. This is the Six of Swords and also the Lily Pad. This is the High Priestess and also the Dog. It works really well. I really am enjoying getting to know it. It's still something that I'm, you know, of course, working with and getting familiar with in my practice, but so far it's been an excellent read. So there you go, a little tarot reading in one of my secret tarot journals. As always, you'll find links for everything I've shown here in the description box below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to sharing with you again soon.